What is going on, guys? Horizon here, and on today's episode of RLCS Game Plan, we're going to be taking a deep dive into what went wrong for Quadrant in the grand finals of the European Fall Cup as they came up against Karmine Corp. For this replay, we're going to be hopping on board with the solid third man of Quadrant in relatingwave. But before we do jump into it, a quick reminder that we are shooting to reach 500 subscribers by the end of this year. So if you wouldn't mind helping us achieve that goal by clicking that bright red subscribe button right down below this video, I would very much appreciate it. With that all said, let's go ahead and jump right on into this on board with relatingwave. Taking a look at game 5 here against Karmine Corp. This is a little bit of an ambitious jump from Wave, so we come down here. Pressuring Vatira here is fine. Not sure we really need to take our wheels off the ground. Just makes it a little slower for us to recover. Not a huge deal, but in pro play, every second definitely does count. Rotating back, waiting for the touch. Early jump up to challenge exotiik. Like to see that. And this is actually a lot of trust coming through from Wave for Kash to get this touch with no issues. Because he goes up here to challenge exotiik, gets beat. Now he has 55 boost. Now you'll notice that he doesn't use any boost to recover back to the ground. And that just shows just how much trust this team has in each other to get the touches they say they're going to. Because Wave is in no rush to get back to the ground and try to rush back to net. So it's really nice to see that they have that amount of confidence in each other to get the touches that they say they're going to. Rotating around here, getting the ball out. Trying to get that pass over to a teammate. Like the idea, just cut off a little bit by Itachi. Good look on the bump. So right here, we have offensive pressure. He comes off the wall here. That corner boost is ripe for the taking. I would love to see Wave run across to grab that corner. No one from KC is currently looking to grab it. But if we take it from them, that is another 10 seconds where they don't have access to one of their corners, which is always a great advantage when you're pushing on offense. So I'd like to see a little bit more aggressive play there from Wave to take that boost. No harm, no foul though. Unfortunate demo. I think a trend we're going to see with Wave is that he does get caught off with demos a couple of times in this game. I actually really like this play. Because if you look as this ball comes over, right here, if he boosts into this, it's possible that he could get a pass across to Kash. However, if he passes this ball, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea, right? Passing this ball would give Kash a run onto a shot and potentially a very good scoring opportunity. But the risk is pretty high, because if you pass this to Kash, there are 3 KC players that could actually go out to challenge this ball. And it's very, very possible that Kash gets dunked on his shot attempt. And if he does, this ball is going flying back towards Quadrant's end, with at least 2 of them currently being stuck in KC's box. So the much safer play for Wave to go for here is just to take the ball slow and take a controlled 50 with Vatira. And just keep the ball locked, because this allows Quadrant to maintain control of the ball, maintain presence in the offensive half, without having the risk of the ball being blasted down to their own end. And now we do take the corner move, so we'd love to see that. You can jump here. I like that he puts this back into the corner, doesn't just hit it to the side, make sure that his team is going to be the next one to the ball. Very awkward situation here, not a whole lot that can be done. This just gets a little chaotic with how these touches come along the wall. eekso just can't quite get to them. So now we're all in an awkward spot, and there's no need not to double commit in this situation, because if Itachi's going to score this, he's going to score this whether 1 or 2 of you go. So, not a bad double commit. eekso gets a nice touch, and then Kash is able to get the clear. Luckily enough, we get out of it, but definitely a dangerous situation there. Okay, so with this, I would like to see a bit of more team play here from Wave. We just got a demo in the midfield. We only have 1 member of KC challenging us currently. The last member back is really far back in their own corner. eekso currently would have free reign in the midfield, or maybe we can even get this ball over to Kash where he can do something. I know Kash is on low boost, probably like 0 at this point. And eekso, I think, is on like 30. Let me just check real quick. Yeah, Kash is on 0, eekso's on 30. So eekso definitely has a chance to do something with this ball if it is dropped into the midfield for him. And I don't necessarily blame Wave for wanting to go for the solo play, because he's trying to buy time for his team to get back, and dropping the ball to your third man when no one else is back can be a bit dangerous. However, if he's going to go for the solo play, he needs to get better control of the ball than this, because everyone's kind of expecting him to have at least a 50 at the end of this, but Vatira wins this ball clean. And now eekso and Kash are stuck in a situation where they have to rush back to net as fast as possible. And eekso, with his only 30 boost that he has, now has a really hard ball coming down at him. And it's really hard for him to read that fast with low boost. And unfortunately, he just doesn't make the read, and Vatira does. So that all kind of comes down to the control from Relating Wave. If he's going to take the solo play, he needs to make sure that he buys as much time as possible and at least gets a 50 on the end of it. And otherwise, he could have dropped the ball to eekso in space in the midfield, and eekso could have used his 1v1 mechanics to get past a couple of people, I'm sure, even with only having 30 boost. Not necessarily a bad decision from Wave, just poorly executed, unfortunately. On we go. Plenty of time left. Nothing to be concerned about. I really like this patience here from Wave. So this ball comes across. He's looking at Itachi. With the angle Itachi's coming at, this shot's probably not going to be super powerful. So all Wave does is just put himself in a spot where he knows he's covered all the angles, so that wherever Itachi shoots this ball to, Wave can get up to it. He's just purely taking away all of Itachi's options and waiting for a shot. So by putting himself in the best position possible to succeed, he takes a play that could be really dangerous and actually makes it really easy to deal with. Just a pot shot from Itachi. Wave takes it away pretty easily. Up to eekso as well, which gets the ball downfield. This is a really nice quick decision, actually. A lot of players, when they have a ball over their heads like this, will linger around a little too long, particularly at the lower ranks, obviously not so much in pro play. But you see a ball over your head like this, you're on low boost, you're kind of in an awkward spot. The easiest thing to do is just automatically leave the play, and allow another one of your teammates who probably has a better angle on the play to come in for it. So very nicely done there from Wave, not to leave himself in an awkward spot. This is a bit of an unfortunate touch. I'm willing to bet he wants to get this ball downfield in some way, but unfortunately he gets two-side onto it and sends it infield instead. Dangerous situation, but Quadrant gets back. This is a bit awkward defensive positioning here. So as Wave rotates back, if he goes into net here, he has a better angle to play this from. Even because Vatira can't score this from here, and if he does shoot it, it's going to be a really slow shot. So you can expect a pass is coming, but by Wave pulling out in front of net like this, and now turning around and facing the goal, like any pass that comes out from Vatira, it is very difficult for Wave to defend. If he had pulled into net and faced out towards the rest of the field, then when this touch from Vatira came out, Wave would easily be able to come out and get a clear downfield, instead of having to do this awkward pre-jump thing that he does here. Gets caught in a very awkward position, but luckily we do make it work, and we get the clear downfield. Good challenge against Itachi, staying with the play. This is really nicely done as well. With Wave on low boost, he wants to make sure he stays with this ball as much as possible. He doesn't want to allow Vatira pass him for free. So he looks at where Vatira is approaching from and just challenges and rolls with the ball so that he can stay with the play even on low boost. And with zero boost, he's still able to get back to this ball for another challenge and a really nice clear downfield. And this is also just great awareness as well. If we're looking at his camera right here, he's either going to go for a demo on exotiik or he's going to go steal the corner boost. But as soon as he hears in comms and in the game that one of his teammates gets demoed, he immediately flips ball cam back on and spins back around to provide support for the player that's still in the play. And this allows them to maintain two players up on offense and gives their third player time to respawn and time to collect themselves before being forced immediately back into the play. So really nice awareness there from Wave, just to understand what's going on in the game and not overcommit himself. This is again just a really nice sequence of challenges here. We're just kind of playing passive, waiting to see when the ball falls to us. And he grabs the boost, jumps immediately, reads it faster than both exotiik and Itachi, and touches the ball soft enough that Vatira cannot get back to it before Wave can as well, and just equals a nice 50-50. If eekso has a better touch on this, this is actually probably a goal. But this is all set up from Wave just being really, really strong in his challenges and knowing exactly how to challenge the ball to get it to fall in his favor. eekso taking the ball downfield. So this is actually a really solid opportunity to score. But you'll notice that Wave is super far back. Now, obviously, in a lot of cases, when the ball gets fired off the backboard by our teammates, we want to be able to jump quickly and go for a shot. However, if we look at the positioning of Kash and eekso, they're both in KC's corner. So while this is a great opportunity in theory to shoot the ball, relatingwave knows that if he commits for this and it ends poorly, that puts all three members of Quadrant in KC's final third, and pretty much allows KC a free counterattack. So he recognizes the situation that his team is in, and even though this play could be super tempting to go for, he knows that he absolutely can't afford to, and remains back as a passive third man to make sure that at the very least they're not going to concede another goal. Yes, they're passing up what is probably a solid chance to score, but we still have a minute and a half left, so we don't want to go all in unless it's almost a sure thing at this point. So I really like the self-control from Wave to not dive in for what is a very tempting situation. Still remains passive, you love to see it. Just playing really solid in the midfield and not really giving KC a whole lot of opportunity for anything. He's just very, very smart in what he goes for and where he positions himself. Bit of a YOLO challenge to get exotiik off the ball, nothing wrong with that. I think we should be a little more careful with our boost usage here. We're rushing into a play where two of our players are in the air, so they're going to take a little bit of time to recover because we're kind of 50ing KC with two of our players, which leaves Wave as the only player back. He boosts really far forward into this play. Now, luckily, it doesn't become a problem because Itachi is so far back, but with where he gets to and the amount of boost that he used, he could have just driven and flipped and maybe used like 5 boosts to get up to where he was, instead of boosting all the way forward and now being stuck here with 22 boost and KC inevitably bearing down on him here. Now, luckily, Vatira is a bit slow to this challenge. Realistically, Wave should be totally beat here. There's no reason that Wave should actually be able to get a touch on this ball, but Vatira goes a bit slow, and Wave luckily is able to get up to it and take the ball away, which is very fortunate. That could have ended a whole lot worse. So really nice final challenge there, but we kind of put ourselves in an awkward spot where we were stuck in the midfield with pretty low boost and not a whole lot of options to defend the net. Rotating back. Still 30 seconds, no time to panic yet. I think the one thing Wave could be better at is just his awareness on demos. He does have a bit of a habit currently of not being super aware of when players are coming behind him. He kind of just slows down, there's no attempt to jump, there's no attempt to get out of the way. And as someone that plays such a solid third man back for Kash and eekso, it's really important that Wave stays on the field as much as possible, because as soon as Wave gets demoed off the field, Kash and eekso lose a lot of support behind them. So I'd really like to see Wave start to work on his demo avoidance. The more elusive Wave gets, the harder this team is going to be to break down in the long run. See how we get along here. I know in these situations that we want to trust our teammates to get the touches that they say they're going to, but in a situation like this, Kash is coming from a really awkward angle. I would like to see Wave jump for this too. And reason being, if Kash hits this and we've already jumped, not a problem, we can easily come back down to the ground and probably still stay in the play. If Kash gets beat though, we are in the air to challenge Vatira. Because Vatira doesn't jump for this ball until it's actually past Kash, and Wave just takes another like second to second and a half to actually jump. And at that point, he's just pre-jumping Vatira's touch instead of getting up and actually putting in a challenge against Vatira. So I would like to see Wave plan to jump right when Vatira does. And then if Kash hits the ball, fantastic, then there's really no threat because both you and Vatira are in the air. And if Kash misses, you are right there, equal to Vatira, able to put in a challenge when Vatira tries to touch the ball. waiting this long just was pretty much a death sentence, because there's no way you're predicting exactly where Vatira is going to shoot that. But not a bad showing at all from Quadrant. I think there's a lot of positives that we talked about in this replay, and Wave just plays a really solid third man a whole lot of the time. And I think this team has really surprised a lot of people. I don't think anyone, when they saw this roster, thought, oh yeah, they're going to be competing consistently for regional titles, and they will most definitely be going to the major. Especially with Kash's history of always being on teams that choke their major chances in the final regional. It's nice to see them put themselves in such a solid position that the chance of them doing that is pretty minimal. This team is extremely well put together. They have two really mechanical players in Kash and eekso, and then a really strong third man to back them up in Wave. And on any given day, this team can take down anyone. This day, it just wasn't for them. So thank you everybody so much for watching, as I greatly appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys. Thank you.